The Jedi and Democracy seems to be an inseparable pairing throughout the entire prequel trilogy. You hear it again,
in the name of the Galactic Senate of the Republic,
and again,
Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy!
and again.
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic.
And it all seems to make sense. The Jedi are guardians of the Republic and democracy, so they act as its protectors and champions. But for all that they preach about democracy, they don't seem to be a part of the political process besides running errands for the Republic. Even though the Jedi Council still remains incredibly influential within the Republic, it isn't created through a democratic process. The Jedi Council is elected internally, and its members are picked by those already within the Order. So the Jedi Order represents a very interesting contradiction with the democracy of the Republic, demonstrating just how broken the Republic's democratic system is. Because on one hand, the Jedi act as representatives and enforcers of the Republic, but yet operate somewhat independently. Not only that, but there is no institutional oversight of the Jedi at all. There is no law that mandates the Jedi have to report to any official body of the Republic. Instead, whether or not the Jedi decide to adhere to the Republic is entirely beholden on who is on the Jedi Council. And we see this is the case of Ahsoka's trial during the Clone Wars series. Ahsoka, wanted by the Republic after being suspected to be the murderer of a key suspect in the Jedi Temple bombings, had to first be exiled from the Council in order for her to be prosecuted under civilian law. The lead prosecutor, Tarkin, had to make a formal request with the Jedi Council and convince them to banish Ahsoka so that the Republic may assert jurisdiction over her trial. This in itself is incredibly problematic. While in this instance Tarkin did manage to convince the Jedi Council to act in accordance to the interests of the Republic, under different circumstances, the outcome could have been quite different. In any democracy, there are three basic structures that have to remain separate: the executive, which is the Chancellor's office, the Parliament, and in this case the Galactic Senate, and the judiciary, the Republic courts. Within this system is a wide variety of different governmental departments, like the military or any other department relevant to running the day-to-day business of government. However, the Jedi Council exists outside this system. They are not beholden to any of the three structures of democracy and are not beholden to the Republic laws either. The internal issues of the Jedi are dealt internally, devoid of any external oversight, which is grossly undemocratic. Yet, despite all this, the Republic routinely consults the Jedi on a wide range of political issues, such as diplomatic negotiations, and during the Clone Wars, allowed the Jedi to be a part of the military as generals. And so, the Republic essentially had military generals during the Clone Wars that were not answerable to anyone but the Jedi Order itself, and we have already established that the Jedi Order is institutionally not required to answer to any branch of government, so you can see just how broken the Republic's democracy is. And this system was in place well before Chancellor Palpatine came to power. During the era of the High Republic, the Jedi were in a very similar position, albeit holding much more influence than they did during the Clone Wars. In fact, prior to the Battle of Kur with the Nile, the Republic had to formally request the aid of the Jedi Order for the upcoming battle, and even requested their aid when it came to the investigation of the Great Disaster. So you can see why the Jedi Order could have easily manipulated events to their liking. Of course, you might say that, well, the Jedi are good, and their philosophy and the way of the Force would ultimately guide them away from actions that would actively undermine democracy, which isn't necessarily true. Depending on how extreme or dogmatic the Jedi Order is, its actions could most definitely undermine democracy. And we have actually seen this before. When Mace Windu and the other members of the Jedi Council attempt to arrest Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, it is actually a direct challenge to democracy. Now you might say, well, he's a Sith, of course he's the real bad guy here, he had to be removed from power. But therein lies the problem. Palpatine, although a Sith, was still a democratically elected official, meaning the Senate elected him as the leader of the Republic, and as far as we know, the Senate doesn't really care about the Jedi's religious crusade against the Sith, at least not in the prequel era. Palpatine's different religious beliefs aren't exactly a cause for his removal. Therefore, the Jedi, by attempting to remove a democratically elected official forcibly, are actually committing
It's treason, then.
After all, you can't just remove a democratically elected leader from office just because you don't like him. If that were the case, then nothing will get done. There is also another problem. By attempting to forcibly remove Palpatine, the Jedi have ignored any form of due process. In any democracy, the removal of a democratically elected leader is usually done in conversation with the other branches of government. For a clear example, just take a look at how Chancellor Valorum was removed from office. Padme pushed forward a motion of no confidence in the Senate, and he was successfully voted out of office. Due process. Mace Windu, alongside the other Jedi Masters in their arrogance, believed that it was the right of the Jedi to remove Chancellor Palpatine with or without the approval of the Senate, which is deeply undemocratic. And things just get worse. After disarming Emperor Palpatine, Mace Windu attempts to execute the Sith Lord on the spot. Anakin, for all his blindness, was actually right in stating that
He must stand trial.
while Palpatine may be evil, for any democracy to work, it must abide by its own laws, which means Palpatine as a citizen of the Republic has a right to be judged in front of the court of law. But instead of deferring to the courts for judgment, Mace Windu takes matters into his own hands. He justifies this by saying,
He has control of the Senate and the courts. He's too dangerous to be left alive.
and this is a very dangerous judgment call to make because the Jedi Order is taking an active stance to say that when democracy doesn't work in favor of the Order's agenda, then it has a right to intervene regardless of due process. So while the Jedi may claim that they are
The guardians of peace and justice in the old Republic.
they actually represent a deep tension in Republic democracy. The Jedi Order and its undemocratic nature therefore remains a constant threat to the democratic integrity of the Republic. That's all for today's video. Be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. As always, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. I am the Lost Acolyte,
and I have spoken.